You're tired. You've worked for 40 years, and someone just told you you might need to work until 70. It sounds like a punishment, a failure, a nightmare. Before I make my case, I want to say something almost no video on this topic will say. You're right about almost all of it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, the thing you're dreading might be the smartest move you ever make. You're right that working until 70 sounds awful when you picture it the old way. You're right that bodies wear down, that bosses can be soul-crushing, that commutes steal your life, that offices feel like prisons after 4 decades. You're right that you've earned rest, you raised kids, you paid taxes, you showed up every Monday for years. You're right that just work longer is lazy advice when it comes from a 35-year-old finance guru in a suit. You're right that the people pushing work forever often have a book to sell, or a course, or a retirement product with high fees. And you're right that the thought of dying at your desk, never having lived freely, is genuinely terrifying. I'm not arguing with any of that. Every word of it is true. But here's the thing you might be missing. Everything you just said is exactly why working until 70, the new way, makes more sense than ever. Look closely at what you actually hate. It's not the work itself. It's the boss, the commute, the cubicle, the meetings, the boredom, the lack of control. You don't hate building things. You don't hate using your brain. You don't hate being needed. You hate being trapped. So the real question isn't whether to work until 70. The real question is, what kind of work fills those years? When critics say work until 70, you picture your dad's life, punching a clock, bad knees, bad back, same desk for 30 years. That game is over. Nobody's asking you to play it. The new game looks completely different. Work from your kitchen table at 10 in the morning. Choose your own hours and skip rush hour entirely. Pick projects you actually enjoy instead of whatever your boss assigns. Travel while you earn because the laptop goes anywhere. Take Tuesdays off if you want. Nobody's tracking you. This isn't fantasy. Millions of people over 60 already live this way. It's becoming the new normal. Start a YouTube channel from your living room. Sell digital products on Etsy with zero inventory. Consult by Zoom for clients across the country. Build a small newsletter that pays you monthly. Teach a skill online to people who genuinely need it. None of this existed for your parents. None of it requires a punishing schedule. None of it requires a boss. Saying yes to working until 70 doesn't mean saying yes to the old grind. It means saying yes to a brand new option your parents never had. Now here's what nobody tells you about retiring at 65 with average savings. You don't get rest. You get worry. The slow drain of watching your account drop every single month while you can't refill it. That's not freedom. That's a different kind of cage. And there's another twist. You said bodies wear down. You're right. But stopping all work actually speeds up the breakdown. Studies tracking thousands of retirees show cognitive decline jumps in the first few years after retirement. Memory drops, depression climbs, physical activity falls. The body and brain need a job, not a soul-crushing job, just a job, something to wake up for. So your concern about wearing out actually argues for staying engaged, not stopping cold. Let's get concrete. Numbers don't care about feelings. Wait to claim Social Security from 65 to 70, and your monthly check grows by about 32%. Forever. Guaranteed. 5 extra years of saving, even at modest amounts, can add 6 figures to your nest egg. Compounding does the heavy lifting. 5 fewer years of drawing down means your money lasts dramatically longer when you finally do stop. Add it all up. The person who works flexibly until 70 often ends up with nearly double the lifetime retirement income. Same starting savings, wildly different outcomes. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between worrying about money at 82 and never worrying again. You said you don't want to die at your desk having never really lived. That fear is completely valid. But look at where that fear actually points. It points to wanting work that doesn't feel like a desk, work that feels like living, work that fits inside a real life. That's exactly what working until 70 looks like in 2026. Flexible, remote, meaningful, yours. The thing you fear is the old model. The new model is the answer to that fear. And here's the quiet truth nobody talks about. People retire at 65 with relief. 6 months in, they're bored. 12 months in, restless. 18 months in, they're starting something new. Why? Because humans are wired for purpose. Always have been. The question isn't whether you'll do something at 67. You almost certainly will. The question is whether you plan for it now and build something great or stumble into it later. So here's what working until 70, the new way, actually gets you. Financial breathing room early retirees never get. Mental sharpness that fades fast in full retirement. Daily purpose that empty calendars destroy. Social connection that loneliness slowly erodes. Identity beyond just retired person. And the freedom to live anywhere on earth. You don't have to choose between freedom and security. The new game lets you have both. Working until 70 isn't failure. It's not punishment. It's not your parents' miserable last decade of clock punching. It's a different game with completely different rules. Rules that finally favor you. The folks calling it failure are stuck in 1985. They're judging your future by their parents' past. Don't let them. So here's your move. Don't decide today whether you'll work until 70. Just open a notebook or your phone and write down one question. What would working until 70 look like if it were entirely on my terms? Then start sketching. Maybe a small online business, maybe consulting, maybe something you haven't thought of yet. You don't have to commit. You just have to look. Because once you see what the new game actually offers, flexible, profitable, meaningful, you'll never want to go back to the old definition of retirement. The race you're tired of? It's already over. A better game just started. If this hit home, hit subscribe. We're building a community of people rewriting what retirement looks like, and the next video shows you exactly how to start. You started late, you're thinking differently. Good, so are we.